そして僕らきっと辛いだってを決して離さないで明日へかける Let's sing loudly We are the one for the future.
Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Naruto Shippuden episode 364. 2 weeks in the making. 2 weeks in the making, and the episode... it was worth. I guess you could say it was worth it. I guess it didn't. It kind of disappointed in one aspect, but for the most part, it was pretty good. The Shinobi Alliance, they tried to take out Madara and Obito, but the Ten Tails transformed, and it's completely different now. It has arms and tails. It has arms and hands as tails now. Its tail beast bombs are even more powerful. Instead of shooting the beam like it did before, it's like shooting these like little cone-shaped bombs, and it goes. Literally, no one is safe. I think someone said that, like Shikaku or someone said it, but like no one is safe. Not them, not the civilians in the villages, not the people protecting the villages, not the feudal lords. No one is safe because everyone is within their range of within the Ten Tails' range of fire. All right, so. That's obviously not good, and in order to try and protect those people who are all the way out there, they decided the best thing to do is to take out the brains of the Ten Tails, aka Madara and Obito. However, the two of them actually beat them to it because they used a tail beast bomb to destroy the brains of the Alliance. Alright, and Shikaku, Inoichi, Ao, that girl who's the Raikage's assistant or secretary or something like that, advisor or something like that, her, like, all the people who were there at HQ, dead, done. All right, their deaths weren't actually shown. So typical shonen rule is that you don't see the corpse, then there's no death. Since we didn't legitimately see them die, I'm sure most people would question this. I know I did when I saw it, but well, no, actually I didn't when I read it in the manga because I saw the reactions that Shikamaru and Ino had, and I was like, yeah, this is probably real. And though this is technically a little bit of a spoiler, not really, but by definition it's technically a spoiler, but it's not a big deal, so I'll tell you here. So far in the manga, they have not come back yet, so. I think it's safe to assume they're really dead, but yeah, I like the way the scene was done because while it didn't really have that big of an impact, the deaths themselves, the things that happened after that showed how big of a deal it was. Just with the way Shikamaru acted, the way Ino acted, everyone was just kind of like quiet. There was no music in the background. Naruto was like, "Wait, what just happened? They can't be like like what? No, there's no way. Like what just happened? I just liked the way the scene was done. But while Naruto's all messed up like that, the Hyuga kind of come and fix him. Neji and Hinata and Hisashi, I think that's his name, Hisashi. They kind of just fix Naruto up, and they try to do this. Shikaku, before he was killed, he came up with one last plan, and he had Inoichi tell it to everybody, and they're going to try and put this plan into action. I would assume they said that Naruto was like a key part of the plan, so. Actually, no, let me not. They'll probably reveal that next week, so I don't want to spoil anything. I say that after just telling you a spoiler from the manga. Whatever, don't worry about it. Right? It'll probably be revealed next week. But after seeing the stuff that goes on with them, we end up seeing Madara and Obito, and Madara is talking about how after the next transformation that Ten Tails does, it'll probably be much more difficult to control. So in order to control it, they are going to need to. Only a Jinchuriki would be able to control it. That's what he says. All right. However, the Ten Tails is unique. It's different than the other tailed beasts. The other tailed beasts could be With the other tailed beasts, you could make Jinchurikis that were Edo Tensei. You could make Jinchuriki out of reanimated corpses. But the Ten Tails is different. With the Ten Tails, you can't have its Jinchuriki be a reanimated corpse. It needs to be someone who's actually living. So in order for Madara to become the Jinchuriki, he needs Obito to use Rine Tensei, aka the Gedo art of Rine Rebirth. Alright. However, that would require Obito to die. Alright. And Obito's saying, Yamato, you need to know your place. In order, and you need me. All right, so you need to listen to what I'm saying. All right, and stop trying to boss me around. Right. And he also says he never considered Madara a friend, which means he probably never trusted him from the start. Obito probably had his own agenda from the very beginning. All right, even if Madara gave Black Zetsu his will and all that, it probably didn't really have that much of an effect on anything. Obito had his own agenda from the beginning. He agreed with Madara's plan and decided to put it into action, but he's not really a puppet because he did his own thing. He didn't want to do what Madara did. He had his own way of doing things. How about that? He never trusted Madara, and he never intended on doing what Madara wanted. He only intended on doing what he wanted. His twist on the plan, if you will. And after he says that, and after he starts talking down to Madara, he controls the Ten Tails and has it use wood-style cutting sprigs. Alright, and it sends like these wood spikes down, and just showers the entire battlefield with them. And as soon as they hit people, or maybe it was before that, but I think it was right after they hit people, then they kind of turn into these like, they kind of curl at the ends and they kind of look like claws. So that was kind of interesting. Um, a bunch of people were taken out by this, but some people are able to fight back and destroy them. Naruto used 5 Rasen Shuriken, 5. All right, like Biggie Langston, 5 or 5. Yeah, I had to mirror it. But yeah, he used 5 Rasen Shuriken to destroy some. Sakura was like picking up the earth and like turning it into what she's essentially using Earth style without using Earth style. Like that. All the guys from the cloud are like, not the cloud, the stone village, right? They're all these guys are trying to use Earth style. So Sakura's just like boom, boom. How about you just do that? It's much simpler. No molding chakra, just boom, boom. So she does that to block some and protect people. Hisashi and Hinata, they're using Byakugan techniques like air palm and stuff like that. And Neji uses his body to block them because he sacrifices himself in order to save Hinata and Naruto. Because Naruto was about to get hit because he was still tired from using 5 Rasen Shuriken. And Hinata, she couldn't stop them. Her air palm isn't strong enough to stop the concentrated cutting sprigs. So she just decides, okay, well, I'll stand in front of Naruto. If I can't stop them, I'll at least stop them from hitting Naruto. All right. So she's about to sacrifice herself for Naruto. However, Neji sacrifices himself for her. All right. So yeah, Neji dies. um, I don't really like the way the anime did this because it's like they didn't dramatize it enough. Like it was like I was like, wait, what? Like I knew what was I knew what was going to happen, but I was still surprised. Like, wait, that's it. Like it looked like they made they didn't make Neji's death feel like it was special. They made it feel like it was just another jobber, another fodder dude dying. Like it was just another guy. Right? Like, and I don't really like that they did it that way. The words he said after that was good. All the stuff that happened after that was good, but the actual scene where he gets stabbed, that like, it just made it didn't make it they didn't make it seem special. Like a character that we've known for over a decade had just been killed. You know, I'm so yeah. I just didn't care for the way the anime did it. But like I said, all the stuff after that I liked it and I thought was good. His words at the end, I like that. The stuff that Obito, the stuff with Obito and Hinata, I thought that was great. That was great because you listen to what they're saying, and it's like and it's so true, all the stuff they're saying. Like, you look back at all the things Naruto has gone through, and you look at what Obito is saying, and it's like, and it makes perfect sense for Naruto to just be talking to Jutsu by that. Even Madara's like, yeah, he's gonna give up soon. Like, it made perfect sense because of the stuff he was saying. You know, he pointed out the fact, like, hey Naruto, didn't you just say you were never gonna let any of your comrades die? Yet look around you, a bunch of them lie dead. All right, one of them is even lying dead in your arms. All right. So what happened? What happened? I dare you to say that again. I dare you to say that you'll never let your comrades die. I dare you. You can't do it because you know you can't protect them because I just killed them all and showed you just how little you really are. All right, and it's just like it makes so much sense for him to react that way. And then Obito didn't even stop there. All right, he went on to talk about how if Naruto didn't give up, if he didn't join them and help them activate Infinite Tsukuyomi, that the people he cared about were going to keep dying, all right, and that soon he would be alone again, which is his biggest fear because that's what he had to live with for so long when he was a child, all right, and he just starts realizing like, oh my God, I might legitimately be alone, like, and the fear of that is so powerful that it prevents him from realizing that, well, if they put me in Infinite Tsukuyomi, I won't really be alone because I'll be in my perfect world. But whatever, but whatever. He doesn't think about that because the fear of solitude is just so strong inside him. All right, but Hinata comes along and actually helps him get over that fear, conquer that fear. Okay, she lets him know that these people that are they're never going to abandon you. That's for sure. They're not going to abandon you because, like Neji said, they're all willing to die for you. All right. And if you abandon them and you do what Obito is saying, then he's just going to kill them anyway. We have a much bigger chance of staying alive if you stay with us and you help us. All right. Doing what Obito says, it's doing what he says is only going to hurt. It won't help at all. All right. So she made Naruto realize that sticking with the alliance and fighting back is the best case scenario. She helped him overcome that last mental weakness that he had because he had Naruto's character had a few mental weaknesses. It was the fear of solitude, it was his obsession over his lack of power, and his obsession over the lack of respect. He got the lack of acknowledgement. Actually, that's a better way of saying it. The lack of acknowledgement and his obsession over Sasuke, which personally I would argue that his obsession over Sasuke isn't a mental weakness. It's more like common sense because he and Sasuke, or Naruto at least, he considered Sasuke to be a brother. All right. Now, if your brother told you that he was going to join a gang and start killing people, gang, aka Akatsuki, and start killing people and all this, not, or actually no, at the time it would have been Orochimaru. If your brother or your sister or your sibling, someone close to you, told you that they were going to go join a gang and start killing people, and you could tell they were 100% serious about it, wouldn't you go to any lengths necessary to stop them? Yes, you would, because you know they're about to ruin their lives and hurt other people in the process, right? Like you would do whatever it took to try and stop them and make them realize that that is not a good decision at all, that they should stop and go back to the way they were. So yet people act like it's weird for Naruto to do the same for someone who he considers to be a brother. All right? No, it's not weird at all. All right? So I don't consider his obsession over Sasuke to be a mental weakness. But even if you do consider that a mental weakness, he overcame that weakness in the Five Kage Summit where he decided, you know what? I understand that nothing I say is going to get through to you, and that the only way I can stop you now from messing things up in the future is to kill you. Therefore, I will fight you, and at the end of this fight, you will die. And Sasuke said to him, hey, I'm not, no, I'm gonna kill you, Naruto. If anything, that's the one outcome that'll happen. And Naruto said, fine, you can kill me all you want, but I'm gonna bring you down with me. If that's the case, then the both of us are gonna die. All right. So even if you consider his obsession over Sasuke to be a mental weakness, he overcame it then. All right. Um, wait a second. As for his obsession over his lack of power and lack of acknowledgement, those two got conquered back in Pain's invasion when the entire village acknowledged him as a hero because of the strength he displayed in defeating Pain and saving the village. So those two uh, mental weaknesses got conquered there. And the entire village just was like hoisting him up in the air, throwing him up in the air, and celebrating and stuff like that. People were asking for his autograph, like you know, these very same people. As a matter of fact, that's what Dark Naruto back at the Waterfall of Truth said to him when he was trying to master and control the Nine Tails. Dark Naruto said that to him, like, you know, these people hated you. They looked at you with eyes filled with hatred, fear, and disgust. They thought nothing of you. They wanted you to die. You know, all of a sudden, because you saved them, these people flip. They go just like that, and now all of a sudden they're your biggest fans. You should hate these people. You should criticize them for how fake they are. But instead, you want to continue to help them now. You know, so Dark Naruto addressed that very same thing. But his hatred of the people who treat him that way, like actually, yeah, I guess you could call that a mental weakness too. Um, but that was conquered at the Waterfall of Truth. So really, at this point in the series, the only mental weakness he had was his fear of solitude, and Hinata helped him conquer that. So this scene gave Naruto quite a bit of mental growth, to the point where he's now as mentally strong as he could possibly be. That's if he can look in the face of Obito and Madara Uchiha and the Ten Tails and still not decide to give up, then what could possibly happen to make him give up? Nothing. You know, there's nothing there's nothing that could break him mentally anymore. There's nothing. Right. So this was a great scene because of that mental growth that Naruto had. All right. And the mental growth that Naruto had in this scene kind of made Obito uneasy, as Madara states. And you know that it makes sense because Obito's been saying, you know, talking about how the truth of the world, and if Naruto is going to overcome that, then the alliance isn't going to break. Because if you recall, it was said in the episode at some point by somebody that if Naruto breaks down, then he takes the rest of the alliance with him. Okay. And if the entire alliance breaks down, then they've essentially won easy. But the longer the alliance fights back, the bigger the chances are that the Ten Tails is going to grow too powerful for them to control, and then they're screwed. Right? It's going to be incredibly difficult to become the Jinchuriki. All right, and that's why Obito just says, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take all these dudes out right now. That's it. That's it. They're done. All right. I don't care what happens to me. As a matter of fact, nothing's going to happen to me. The Ten Tails is strong enough where it's not going to be hurt by its own Tail Beast Bomb. So he decides to shoot a Tail Beast Bomb directly at the Alliance. Right? However, Killer Bee is able to stop it by flying in on one of Sai's birds, because apparently Sai is still alive somehow. Right? Sai, as a matter of fact, Sai still exists. Like, when's the last time Sai was? Sai is like out of all the, not the rookies, because Neji, Lee, and Tenten aren't rookies. Neither is Sai. But like all the like Konoha 12, 13, 25, however many of them there are, out of all the legit characters from the Leaf, Sai is like he's like the one people care the least about. Like, it's not even like, it's just sad how people don't care about Sai, me included. I don't give a crap about him either. Dude could get shot in the face and I'd probably sit there and laugh like, hey, look, Sai's finally relevant. And then people will forget about him in a couple weeks. But whatever. How'd I get on the topic of Sai being shot in the face? Wow. Anyway, Killer Bee flies in. Killer Bee flies in, and he shoots a Tail Beast Bomb directly into the mouth of the Ten Tails. All right, and that prevents it from shooting a Tail Beast Bomb at them. All right, so that was pretty gutsy by him. Talk about tales of a gutsy ninja. Dang, like if that didn't work, the Ten Tails might have just bitten his head off if it wasn't stupid, and if it wasn't being controlled by two people who were trying to get a Tail Beast Bomb. Like if the Ten Tails and Obito weren't focused on the Tail Beast Bomb, then they probably could have just bitten Killer Bee's head off. But so that was a pretty big risk that he took, but it paid off. It was pretty legit too. And after that, we get some fan service for all the Naru Hina shippers out there. The hand-holding scene that you see in the opening and ending. Um, and Naruto ends up giving Hinata some chakra, Nine Tails chakra. So much, in fact, that she actually got the Nine Tails cloak. All right. So Kakashi, when Kurama gave him chakra, he didn't get that much. All right. But Hinata got so much that she actually has the cloak around her now. That's a lot. All right. And you can see in the preview that he's given that chakra to everybody like that. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. And Kurama said he'd teach him how to do it, so I guess Kurama taught him how to do it. All right, but there was a funny comment in the Crunchyroll section about this. The guy said, "Looks like next week Naruto's going to use the Oprah Jutsu. You get Jinchuriki powers. You get Jinchuriki powers. You get Jinchuriki powers. Everybody gets Jinchuriki powers." That was funny. That had me laughing. That was funny. But yeah, that's essentially it for the episode. And overall, I will give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I would have given it a 9, but the scene with Neji's death was just not that good. The words he said after that were fine, but the actual scene, it just wasn't done that well, and it kind of just made him feel like not a big. It kind of made it feel like not a big deal. All right, so yeah, but the stuff with Naruto's mental growth, that was great. That whole scene with Obito and Hinata talking, that was great. The stuff with Shikaku Inoichi, that was really good. Um, but the stuff with Neji dying, that just brought it down because it just wasn't treated like a big deal. But yeah, that's it, you guys. The episode gets an 8.5 out of 10, and that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.